Samsung are about to release their new VR headset. I say new because they did do one a few years ago. Quite a few years ago, but everyone's forgotten about that. This headset looks like it's going to be trying to compete with the Apple Vision Pro. Well, the new Apple Vision Pro. And it's going to, apparently, be released on the 21st, or the announcement's going to be on the 21st. We'll probably be seeing a 2-week delay for pre-orders, but, who knows? Now, the headset was, for a while, called Project Mohan, or Muhan. I don't know how I was pronouncing that. I'm going Muhan. But I'm assuming it's going to have a better name. Probably something like, Samsung Galaxy XR. And this, from what I gather, is going to be another mixed reality headset that's aimed at, again, trying to compete with Apple Vision Pro. But the rumours surrounding it suggest that it's probably going to be closer to the Quest 3. If it's going to have an XR2 Plus Gen 2 chip in it, that basically means it's exactly the same as what the Play for Dream headset's got in it, which is already out. So if you want that, check it out. It's a good headset, to be fair. Really good headset. It's OLED. It's everything that you want from a headset. Software needs a bit of love and care, but it will get there. But the Galaxy XR, the Galaxy VR, the Galaxy Spatial Computing is about to start, and the announcement comes basically stating that the Worldwide Open event. Worldwide Open event. What a mouthful. Just fair enough. Anyway, I don't want to be too skeptical about this because I do think it's another headset that's going to be released that should potentially do quite well and will be. It's going to just push VR in general. Like, that's what we like to see. We like to see VR being pushed to more people. And now we're going to have the Apple haters, Samsung lovers, to compete with each other. And I don't know where this actually leaves Meta and Pico and Play for Dream. Because currently they've been around a lot longer, and they probably know a bit more about VR than the other two companies. Apple have done a fantastic job with the fact that they've released this new headset 2 weeks before. I say new, it's a revised, but it's got the M5 chip in. We talked about it. It's insane that they've put an M5 chip in a headset because, no offense to the XR2 Gen 2 chip, it's doing all the work. We know Apple have done it completely differently in the fact that they've got the M5 chip now and the R1 chip. The R1 chip controls all the little components. And the XR2 Plus Gen 2, it looks like it's going to have to do all the work itself. So the Android operating system that it's going to be running on, I suppose, similar to Play for Dream, and let's face it, Meta, it's a split off from another. Anyway, there's not that much difference. It's more interesting because obviously if Samsung wants to compete with Apple, they're going to have to show that it's powerful enough to do everything, and it's going to have to be spec-wise similar to Apple, unless they come in at a ridiculously cheap price, which is the other angle they could do. They could release a headset that's a similar price to the Quest. I don't think they'll do that. I think they want to compete with Apple, and if they go too cheap, they're going to look cheap. I don't think there's enough people in the tech world who consider Apple and Meta in the same league, really. No offense to Meta. They've done incredible things in VR, but, as a tech company, you think of Apple, you think of Samsung. There's not many higher up than that in those leagues where you think, oh, well, that makes that they're competing, and I think it's really interesting that this is going down this road of Samsung also having a headset out. I just assumed they'd have a more powerful headset. Like, you've got to think of what that chip has to do, because it's going to have, apparently it's going to have an OLED screen in there and numerous other things. And I struggle with it. Obviously, the Play for Dream headset is a fantastic headset. PCVR, it's absolutely up there with like the Pimax as a VR headset, as a PC VR headset. But it doesn't quite compete when it comes to the standalone. Now the problem there is it doesn't have enough apps or games or anything to be able to properly compare it with Apple. But the fact that Apple have an M5 chip in, that the same chip that they put in the laptops in, I question, like, Samsung are going to have a really good marketing campaign to price it above the £2,000 mark, which I think will be priced. I don't think it'll be priced at the 3,499, similar to Apple. I think they'd have had to have put something else in it, because people are going to compare this headset to the Quest, whereas Apple can get away with it not being compared with the fact that it's got a completely different chip in it. So it's going to be really interesting when they launch on the 21st of next week. And that's really all this video was about. But so looking at the rumours, looking at what I've seen online, it does suggest that the Samsung Galaxy XR headset is going to be a 4K micro OLED display. It's going to have 29 million pixels across the two displays, whereas Apple Vision Pro, or the older one, only delivers 23 million pixels. I don't know how much the new processor does, but they talk about the other rumors. I'll put a link to the description of this article. They talk about the fact that it's going to have the XR2 Gen 2 processor, but it doesn't say anything about the fact that it's going to have that they're going to have another chip controlling everything else. It is going to have eye tracking, from what it looks like, and so that is a step up from the Quest 3. I sort of liken this thing to what looks like the Quest Pro 2, which is probably never going to happen because I think Meta have fully decided on the fact that they are making cheap headsets, and I think I'd be surprised if we see a Quest 4 that's similar, a similar spec to, I would say the Quest 4 will be more of a Quest 3S, but a 4 like with a better chip in it. But that is another point so this is completely off Samsung, but it goes back to Meta, the fact that they could have actually released a new headset in October with this XR2 Gen 2 Plus chip. You know what I'm getting at. The XR2 Plus Gen 2 chip. They could have released a new headset, and they've decided not to. So do they think this chip isn't good enough enough of a better enhancement than the Quest, than the Galaxy headset, which doesn't look good? If that's the case, if this chip isn't much better than what's already in the Quest, then this Samsung headset could fall flat for the fact that there isn't much more to it. and no one's going to want to pay, $2,000 for a headset that you can actually get similar for when it comes to the Quest 3. I I would argue that actually what could have happened is the fact that Meta could have actually released another headset, and they've decided not to release a new headset. They've decided to spend a lot more time and effort on the glasses. Interesting. But the headset, the rumors are these are all rumors, but I'll link, like I say, to the article in the description. It's going to have a battery puck or pack as they call it, and a power connector very similar to what we see on the Vision Pro. This thing basically looks like a Vision Pro, but it doesn't have the power potentially. And yeah, I mean the overall look of it, it's the only rumors are that it's going to have controllers, which I suppose technically, if you want to spend, £250 on Apple Vision Pro controllers, the Sony ones, then you're, you're already spending £3,500 on a headset. You've probably got enough money to buy the controllers as well. But yeah, so that's the other thing that's going to come with these headsets. They believe you need controllers, which I would argue. I know a lot of people have said that, like, Apple should have come with controllers. The Vision Pro should have come with controllers, but I don't actually think the way it's set up that it needs it. And actually, if you're going to use hand tracking, it's best to concentrate on that first rather than on as a afterthought, a bit like what Meta do, with the fact that, I know people hate me when I say this, but hand tracking is a secondary thought when it comes to Meta, for the fact that they've got hand tracking and it's actually quite good, but the majority of apps want you to have controllers, and that's fair. But that's what happens when you build it the other way around. Whereas now controllers are a secondary option, an option that you can have with the Apple Vision Pro, but you don't have to have. So that's interesting that Samsung have decided for controllers. So yeah, in a week's time we're gonna find out. It's slightly less than a week. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I will try. I think potentially I'm going to live stream that. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. And thanks for watching. And we'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.